Do you remember Burakiraning? The lady who murdered her own brother for the love of her life, who was also her cousin, Mohamed? Romance? But yeah, sure, but make it homicide, I guess. If you want the full chaos, I've already covered Burakiranin's story, so make sure you check it out if you want to do your homework. So we're talking about Mohamed, right? So Mohamed later had a son named Kaleyfaanu. Kaleyfaanu later had 2 children, Khidhumaiykuraa and Hasan IX. To put it simply, Mohamed is the grandfather of Hasan IX and Khidhumaiykuraa. If history has taught us anything, it is that trauma doesn't fade away in this family. Instead, it evolves and gets a new label, and it's passed down like a family heirloom. So let's just buckle up for another chaotic ride. When Sultan Mohamed died in 1529, his son with Fatima Dio, Sultan Hassanul Shirazi, took the throne. And for about 20 solid years, things were as stable as Maldivian royal politics can ever get. Then he died. Next in line was his nephew, Khidhumaiykuraa, son of Kaleyfaanu. He was king for 2 years. Then he was assassinated by his own family, which at this point feels less like a plot twist and more like a family tradition. The story splits into 2 versions from here, and neither of them is comforting. Some say Sultan Khidhumaiykuraa own brother Hasan IX murdered him. Straightforward, brutal. It's a clean story, a simple villain, very on brand for this bloodline. Hasan IX, however, tells a different story. He claimed that Khidhumaiykuraa's wife, who had previously been married to the king's uncle, murdered her husband Sultan Khidhumaiykuraa in cold blood with a dagger. And to really lean into the chaos, she later married Hasan IX. Either way, by 1550, Hasan IX was king. In February of 1550, the Maldivian queen travelled all the way to Goa to meet the Portuguese governor. She complained that the king had dishonoured her and threw her out of her own palace. So the governor prepared a letter telling the king to return her property. But before he could send it, the king himself arrived, and he had complaints too. The king told the governor that the queen had been married to the king's uncle and then to his brother Khidhumaiykuraa, and then she had murdered him. The king insisted that she should not be sent back to the Maldives because he wasn't comfortable living on the same land as her. And on top of that, Hasan IX also accused the Portuguese in the Maldives of disrespecting him as king and hurting Maldivians. So, on the 21st of February 1550, the governor sent a letter asking the king's wishes to be fulfilled. In return, it was written that the king agreed to send the Portuguese king tribute every year. Hasan IX ruled for 1 year and 10 months. Then everything collapsed. In December 1551, a 20-year-old Hasan IX left the throne and went to India, where he became a Christian. He travelled with his wife, family members, and others who were loyal to him. He said that he left the throne to save his own life, claiming his own family was trying to murder him. According to Pirad, the man he was referring to was Kaleyfaanu. Back in Male, the throne was sitting empty. Two rivals, Abu Bakr and Ali Renounced, later Ali Raskefaanu, fought for power. When Hasan IX sent a Portuguese ship and invited Male's elite to convert to Christianity, Maldivians responded with violence. They attacked the ship, killed the Portuguese and seized their goods. For 4 years, the Maldives had no king. The Portuguese attempted to invade twice and were defeated both times, with the rival leaders Abu Bakr and Ali Renounced fighting side by side. In 1554, Abu Bakr became king, only to be killed 4 months later while trying to stop a violent dispute in Male. 2 years later, Ali Renounced ascended the throne as Sultan Ali Raskefaanu. Meanwhile, Hasan IX was in Cochin. He was seeking Portuguese help to reclaim the Maldives. Father Iradia taught him about Christianity, and in January 1552, Hasan IX was baptized. Hasan IX became Dom Manoel. His symbol was a cross, a crown of thorns, and the 5 wounds of Jesus. Dom Manoel enrolled in a Christian college to learn more about the religion and wanted others to convert too. On a bishop's advice, the viceroy told that Dom Manoel should marry a Christian woman so he would forget Islam completely. The people of Cochin pressured the viceroy to marry him to a noble woman. The viceroy planned to take him to Goa, teach him more about Christianity, and find him a suitable bride. In the end, he married in Cochin to a Portuguese noblewoman named Dona Leonora. Things went downhill from there. In 1555, a new governor took over. He was not kind to Dom Manoel. In January 1556, Dom Manoel wrote to the Portuguese leadership complaining that the governor had forbidden him from going back to the Maldives. And also, he was starving and he did not even have enough money to buy a pair of shoes. In reply, the governor told the Portuguese king that Dom Manoel lacked the caliber to rule the Maldives. By 1557, Dom Manoel was struggling financially, living in a house made of clay, yet he was sending rope to Portugal as tribute. Dom Manoel wrote to the Queen of Portugal at that point, and as a result, in 1558, a Portuguese army sailed from Goa to Maldives. They captured Male. They believed Dom Manoel was still king, and he had leased the Maldives to a Portuguese man named Jorge de Souza Pereira. The Portuguese rule was brutal for the Maldivians, and this sparked resistance led by the Uthimo brothers. After the victory, the Portuguese attempted multiple invasions, so an agreement was finally reached in 1576. The Maldives would be independent. Dom Manoel and his descendants would receive a pension sent to Cochin. Maldivians would not have to accept Dom Manoel as king, but they could also not use the word king to describe their own ruler. Dom Manoel had to give 1/3 of his earnings to the Portuguese king. Dom Manoel died in Goa in the year 1583. The Portuguese named Dom Manoel's son, Dom João, as the next absentee king. Dom João never ruled the Maldives though. He was raised in Goa, he was married to a Portuguese noblewoman and held the title that meant absolutely nothing to the Maldivians while the Uthimo dynasty ruled in the Maldives. In 1603, Dom João's son Dom Philip inherited the title. Like his father, he too lived in Goa, well provided for, but he was entirely powerless. The Maldives thrived while the Portuguese benefited quietly from the Maldivian trade. And for 29 years, Dom Philip ruled from afar. Then he decided that distance was no longer acceptable. Dom Philip tried to turn the title into reality, so he sailed towards the Maldives with his sister Dona Inês, backed by Portuguese troops. This was not diplomacy, this was forced, and it failed. Their army was defeated by Sultan Mohamed Imaduddin. Dom Philip was killed, and his sister Dona Inez was captured. And that's how Dom Manoel's line ends. Some of Dom Manoel's descendants remained in Goa. Their Maldivian royal blood eventually faded away. They just became names without memories and crowns without kingdoms. When we read our history, Hasan IX is branded as the biggest traitor, full stop. Yet I still genuinely wonder what really pushed him into that role. I don't believe that he just woke up one morning thinking, yes, today I'm going to betray Maldives. I mean, villain arcs aren't naturally born, they're engineered, right? I'm not necessarily justifying anyone's actions, but the idea that some people are simply born evil feels like lazy storytelling. Humans aren't born evil. They become it through choices. Hasan IX didn't lack options. So what really forced him to do what he did? What forced him to betray his country? What made him change? What do you think? Let me know. I'm actually genuinely curious to know. Until we are able to unfold another tale beyond the sunny side, this is me, Thaareekhah, signing off. Stay safe and bye-bye.